Hello, my name is Yuzef. I'm a writer and director, and I wanted to look at one of my favorite scenes from one of my favorite movies, the baptism scene in There Will Be Blood.
The doctrine of universal salvation is a lie, is it not? It's a lie.
This is a pretty simple scene, actually. I think it's shot from three different
won't.
angles. There's
No,
this
they
angle
won't.
that's kind of looking up from the
You
audience.
will never be
There's a
saved.
wide to show physical action,
Reject the blood.
and then there's close-ups on faces.
Is there a sinner here looking for salvation? A new member? I'll ask it again.
Daniel obviously showing super
Is there
reluctance
a sinner here?
to doing this.
Yes.
At this point in the movie, Eli and Daniel have a lot of bad blood between them.
Thank you.
Daniel has already attacked Eli, and Eli already thinks that Daniel is there to just rip them off.
We have a sinner with us here who wishes for salvation. Daniel, are you a sinner?
Yes.
Oh, the Lord can hear you, Daniel. Say it to him. Go ahead and speak to him. It's all right.
Yes.
Down on your knees and to him. Look up to the sky.
And initially, Daniel's kind of just going through the motions. He is not taking this seriously at all.
Daniel, you've come here and you've brought good and wealth, but you have also brought your bad habits as a backslider. You've lusted after women and you have abandoned your child.
See, when he mentions his child, he looks down slightly. That's the only part of this that he takes seriously, because he actually agrees with Eli on that.
Your child that you raised, you have abandoned all because he was sick and you have sinned. So say it now. I am a sinner.
I am a sinner.
Say it louder. I am a sinner.
I am a sinner.
Louder, Daniel. I am a sinner.
I am a sinner.
I am sorry, Lord.
I am sorry, Lord.
I want the blood.
I want the blood.
You have abandoned your child.
I've abandoned my child.
I will never backslide.
I will never backslide.
I was lost, but now I am found.
I was lost, but now I'm found.
I have abandoned my child.
So Daniel actually agrees with Eli that he has abandoned his child.
Say it.
And this is a real confession.
Say it louder. Say it louder.
I've abandoned my child. I've abandoned my child. I've abandoned my boy.
Beg for the blood.
Give me the blood, Eli. Let me get out of here. Give me the blood, Lord, and let me get away.
Do you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior?
Yes, I do.
Get out of here, devil! Out, devil! Out, sin! Do you accept the Church of the Third Revelation as your spiritual guide? Do you? Get out of here! Get out of here! Get out of here! Get back with you! Lord! Do you accept Jesus Christ as your Savior?
Yes, I do.
Would you be free from the burden of sin? There's power in the blood, power in the blood. Would you or evil the victory win? There's wonderful power in the blood. There is power, power, wonder-working power in the blood of the Lamb.
Praise the Lord.
There is power.
Now, obviously, we don't know what he says there, but you can tell by Eli's reaction that it is some sort of threat, something that does scare Eli. And then, of course, at the end of the film, that's paid off when Daniel says to Eli,
I told you I would eat you.
We're family.
I told you I would eat you up.
We're brothers.
An interesting thing about this part is it actually was not written into the script. In the script, after Daniel is baptized, he just gets up and goes back into the crowd. And I think the way that it ended up in the film is obviously much better than the way it was written.
That's enough. That's enough now. We must take the Spirit in on his own. We have a new member.
I personally feel the screenplay for this film is a little soft, it's a little weak. And I know that sounds crazy. In my opinion, this was the best film that came out that entire decade. If you know the film really well and you read the screenplay, you really get a sense of how much of this movie was figured out in real time as they were filming versus when it was written. But I love this scene. First off, it works as a short film on its own. You don't really need so much context, you kind of understand it. And it's really the only scene in the entire movie where Eli is actually the hero. And it's bittersweet because at the end, there's clearly impending doom for him. But you get to learn so much about Daniel's character in this scene, particularly in how his demeanor changes anytime his son is mentioned. You can tell that this whole thing is bullshit to him. It's all a play, it's all a show. But then when his son is mentioned, he takes it seriously because he actually does believe that he failed his son. And I think it shows that as brutal and driven as Daniel is, he does actually have a soft spot for his adopted son. And he does feel guilty for having failed him. But by the end of the movie, he doesn't care about that anymore. He's just completely broken and corrupted. I also love how simply shot the scene is. The editing is perfect. The action steps out when it needs to step out. It zooms in when it needs to zoom in. And what's interesting about the part when Eli is slapping Daniel around, Daniel is like, even though Eli is the one slapping Daniel around, Daniel is still the one who's in control. He's laughing at his slaps. It doesn't hurt him at all. He's also being very still while Eli's flailing all over the place. And I think that's trying to show that even though on the surface this is a moment where Eli might have the upper hand on Daniel, in the long run Daniel will always beat him. Also love the set. It's so simple. It looks so accurate. I love all the wood everywhere. It looks like what it is, which is a freshly built church in the early 1900s. So anyway, that's a filmmaker's thoughts on the baptism scene from There Will Be Blood.